All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining or watching the recording of our September 5th, 2024 threefold update. So we have quite a fun call today. I am going to first just pull up the presentation so we can go over at the same time. Uh, so we'll start out with a quick introduction around kind of covering some things that have been happening this summer and just recapping a few items. Then we have a special guest today, Omrei, and he'll be joined by a colleague from OurVerse, and they'll share some nice updates about what's happening with OurVerse, which is the metaverse platform that Christoph has talked about on several occasions on previous calls. So that would be cool to hear from him. Then we have some operational updates, including highlights of 3.15, which is the current version of the grid being worked on right now by the development team. Then we'll highlight some demos, calls, and resources that the community should know about, as well as a couple of on-the-ground updates and any time for questions. So quick recap. I won't go into too much detail on anything in particular, but of what's been happening the past couple of months. So as many of you, hopefully all of you would have known by now, version 3.14 of the grid has gone to mainnet in July. And right now the development team is some portion of the way through development on 3.15, but we'll have some highlights on that later in terms of what are some of the most important and interesting updates that can be expected as part of that release. On the project internet capacity side, if you've been on the calls recently, you've understood that we're very much in fundraising mode, and the feedback has been positive, but as well, the summer months were understandably a bit harder to move on. So we're excited that September is coming to a start and summer is coming to an end, and we can kind of kick into the next gear there. We're also in deep discussions with several DePIN and blockchain partners, some quite big names in the space, and we're expecting some announcements in the next couple of months on that side in terms of who those partners are and what are the activations we have planned together. And there's as well some ongoing discussions around launch strategy, which have there was a community discussion a couple of weeks ago about some of this topic, and it's just something that continues to be discussed. On the business development side, as I just mentioned, they've been very focused on the project internet capacity, fundraising, and as well the activation of several partners related to that, the fourth generation of the grid. As well, we're planning there should be some updates coming on the digital free zone in Zanzibar. I know it's been a bit quiet on that side, but there has been a lot going on in the background. So as far as I understand, in the next month or so, there will be an update, an official update on the digital free zone, and that's definitely very exciting as well. And then in the past couple of months, we've had some of the team on the ground at events in Zanzibar, including Transformative Impact Summit and Zanzalu in South America, as well as in Europe. And if hopefully you've seen, Scott and Mick, who are on the call here, have been doing some really awesome demos this summer. So they've done demos on a few different topics, including deploying WordPress, AI, which is artificial intelligence and machine learning workloads on the grid, as well as deploying Nextcloud, which is also quite a popular platform, open source collaboration platform. As well, Scott and Mick deployed 100 VMs on the grid in under 5 minutes, minutes with the TF robot tool, which has been developed by ThreeFold. That was definitely one of my favorites. And then as well, there's been a couple of new resources launched this summer. So the technology ebook, it's not linked to, well, anyway, you can't click on this link right now, but we'll be sure to share it again. The technology ebook, as well as ThreeFold Docs, which Meek will present later. So it's been quite an active summer. Today, we don't have any members of the biz dev team or Christoph on the call, so we won't go deep into those topics. We'll go a bit more into the tech side. As well as I mentioned with the discussion with Omrei. So just a quick, some people that are watching this call may be new or maybe watching for the first time. This is a bit of the background of ThreeFold. The centralized internet and cloud are facing significant challenges, but the fact is that it's a multi-trillion-dollar business. And as we know it today, it's very much dominated by a few centralized or central players, which has created a massive imbalance in the world and has led to problems such as the cyber pandemic, as we like to call it, but really just hacking and outages and kind of all these issues that come with the lack of some of the security issues of the centralized internet. This results in tons of money being lost, and further, the cloud really can't deliver on the requirements of what's coming. And the centralized data center model is really not capable of handling that as well. So what ThreeFold has come in to do is allowing anyone, that includes telcos or governments or just even the average person, to become a cloud internet provider and gain income from this, and also provide capacity, allowing a technology that is hyper scalable, ultra efficient, drives costs down, and has incentives for all of its participants. We've been at this for a long time, 10 years, building from the ground up. So we're not believing in band-aid approaches, as to say, not believing in just quick solutions. That's why the project is also has been in this kind of building state for such a long period of time. But what we've done now is we've been able to prove the technology with investment and resources coming from the community and from our team and others, to prove out a model that now we're ready to take to the next level. What we're doing, again, is really fundamentally transforming how compute, storage, and network are delivered. And again, that's resulting in massive upsides, and hopefully you understand what those would be at this point. Where we are in our roadmap, so as discussed, we've been building for a long time, right? We've gone through a period of proving the technology. So that was the community coming together to deploy the capacity across more than 50 countries, one of the largest internet grids on the planet, especially decentralized. And now we're at the point where the technology has been proven, and now it really is the next step towards commercialization, and which will need massive expansion. And that's why you see that we're collaborating with these large partners. Again, hopefully more of that will be coming in the next call or the one after that, and really moving towards the phase where ThreeFold becomes hyper scaled. So that's a bit of my intro before we get into the meat of the call, which is more the updates. But hopefully, if you're new, you learned something. And of course, if you have questions at the end, we're happy to answer them. So without further ado, I will hand it over to Omrei, who will share a little bit about OurVerse. Omrei, do you want me to take the slide, or do you want to control the slides, or should I control the slides?
No, I will share my screen, please, because I want to demonstrate something also.
Sure. All right. So 1 second, let me just drop, and then. All right. Welcome, Omrei. You can share now.
Hello, everyone. We are OurVerse company. We are cooperating with ThreeFold for the last 2 years. Our vision, OurVerse, to build building virtual environments easy and accessible to everyone, not just for the large corporations. We aim to empower individuals and creators and the startups so they can design and build their innovative virtual worlds using high quality technology with WebRTC, with everything, just in one place. And we put it on decentralized infrastructures. So we was working on this project for the last 5 years. We are based in Palestine, in Gaza and West Bank, and in Zanzibar. The main aim for OurVerse is provide a metaverse platform where anyone can easily create, explore, and interact in immersive 3D environments. And all creator can they build, the creators, I mean the 3D modelers, or anyone, he's not a developer, he not in high level skills, but he just want to build his own game, build his own environment in easy way. Now in this screen, I will build the environment in ThreeFold grid in 1 minute. So we make for the last 5 years, we make it easy, and we was enhancing the quality, and now collaborating with ThreeFold, we to unlock some more potential about it. Want to demonstrate it now. For the last week, we successfully deploy on the grid this domain for ThreeFold grid. We make it now, and everything you see it now, it's on ThreeFold grid. As we're using Zoom, we're using Zoom, but I will show you also our meeting things on the grid. Just before 2 days, we make a 1 hour call in UK nodes. My colleague Alaa will explain what happened in deployment and everything to check how this does. So we make 1 hour call like this, everything goes smoothly. So this our metaverse. It's the first metaverse work in the web by itself. You can build your high quality resolution things just without download anything. Just you go in the web like this. It's the first metaverse ever working like this. I will not go over for all the features. First of all, this is the builder. It's work in threefold grids in the nodes. The nodes now in UK. How we can build? We can build through the AI, and this is something new. We still in testing progress, but through our AI, you can build any 3D environment. Have a big library, and we put it inside one AI structure, so you can build through AI. Just you can text anything, and you can start seeing your environment build in your eyes. So to explain our system, it's just like this. You can build any environment through our library, and after you build this one, we have this quality for now. You can build and collaborate through this. And now it's available on threefold grid. This normal quality, like we call it, is the something you don't need the live computing, like cloud computing. But the next generation equality, and we have it already, you can test it also. This high quality metaverse, it's working just on threefold grid. Why? Because it's almost zero latency on threefold grid. That's why it can make it happens to make it cloud computing happens.
Yeah, Christoph has shown this one, I think, before, where you can like zoom in and it's hyper realistic. And he was explaining on previous calls that it's you in order to achieve this, you need to have the GPU or like right, you need to have the capacity close to the user.
So I want to make a new verse, let's say. It's something easy. And join it. And I can start build.
So this is the builder that you're loading right now.
Yeah. So it's on the browser. The first time you open it, it will take like 2 minutes. But after that, it will be after it's loaded in your environment, it will work smoothly. Alaa, can you when the metaverse is opening, can you share your screens to see the deployment of the metaverse?
Okay. Hi guys, how are you?
Hello.
Hey.
Alaa.
Okay, I'm going to start to share my experience with threefold deploying. Okay, so I used to work with AWS, DigitalOcean, and Azure. At the first I didn't understand the full idea, but in just a few hours I could manage to deploy the first node. Okay, I used Europe region to deploy it, and I managed to deploy these 3 nodes in Europe. Okay. So it's a new concept for me to use WireGuard and Mycelium network and these kind of things. But since it was new for me, I didn't have hard time to deploy it. So I managed to deploy the full infrastructure for OurVerse. Okay, we have a lot of things going on in OurVerse. It's not just a simple back end and front end. We have multiple backend, let's say multiple backend containers and multiple front end infrastructure, and we have things for the communication and voice communication. I managed to deploy them all. I didn't have a hard time to deploy it, so It was the UI and the user experiences was simple and straightforward. I'm happy to deploy now. I didn't use all of the grid, let's say, features. I only used virtual machines. So I had issues just with the wildcard domains, but it's not a big issue. So this experience now deploying to this grid, I found out that the cost is much less than AWS. And we have an idea now with our team. We have a lot of employees that work in regions that our customers on that region. We have an idea of making them as farmers. Okay, I don't know what you call them, but each employee will have their own computer as a farm. Okay, we have an idea in the future to use the GPU to have streaming these metaverse, since metaverse is going to load much slower, as you can see with Omri. We have an idea of streaming the metaverse without downloading the full builder or the full metaverse. Okay, so it will
I,
make
I
the
will share, I will share
experience.
my screen while you're talking, Alaa, okay?
Okay.
Close the screen.
I just want to note that it's not something I was saying it's not something hard to understand and to deploy. It's very easy actually. I didn't have any knowledge before. I managed to do it by myself with the resources you have on the internet. That's it.
Yeah, so here we put like we want to generate a 3D environment with the camping stuff. Okay. So this is the AI what he's doing now. And it's still generate, we're not finished, as you see. You
Right
see this?
now, right now we see still the dashboard. Ah, okay, now we see. There we go.
Nice.
Thank you, Allah.
Yeah. So this is the environment that start to generate, but maybe you don't like something in the environment. We can use also the AI in this way. Let me put Zanzibar.
And
Some
this is running on the GPU or CPU?
CPU.
Wow, nice.
Everything in the CPU until now.
That's cool.
I will show you something can run in GPU also. The good thing we are working in the big model for the first 3D generation. Maybe we call it 3D GPT. So as you see that you generate some stuff just based on some text. It's need one full year of enhancement still, but we have and we achieve, as you see, big progress. As you see here, the quality is not the best, but how we can make it, how we can export it as better render pipeline. That's what I will show you now.
So what is it doing now? Oh, it's
now
just loading the.
Zanzibar sunset, so you can fix the environment. It should be in 1 second it happens.
Okay, you're adjusting the prompt.
Yeah, it's I think
Is that what it is? Is that what it is? You loaded a world that was
yeah,
Zanzibar camping, and then now you've adjusted it to include a sunset?
I put two environment inside each other. I put Zanzibar sunset.
Ah,
What happens? It's our environment now is down. Let me go. Where is it?
The internet is in Jabbar is very bad actually.
Yeah,
That's
you see it. So I generate this environment and another environment outside. I can delete everything. I want to have one text for you. You can delete everything just by this. And you can delete also this, let's say. It's easy, just you can drag and drop, as you see. You can, no need any developer knowledge or stuff. So as you see, I delete everything. So I want to generate different environment for this. Give me an idea, Sam.
I think I don't put me on the spot. Mario in hell. Okay.
I put Mario in hell, let's say.
Okay, let's see.
This in 3 months, it
Well,
should be really. We work hard to make it happen. And for what? It's like to give comfortable for who? For the who's building the metaverse, the creators. So
yes.
basically, if someone want to build 3D environment, he will need a lot of skills, a big team to do it. In our builder,
Mhm.
now you can just build your environment and put here in the save button, and you can export. You can export it in TF grid, 3-fold grid, just in one click.
Yeah.
So now it's Mario in hell. So this
Oh, wow.
after you get the environment, you can start
It's a bit scary.
fix some stuff here and here. I want
That's
to show
amazing.
something quick also here. I want you can use the platform here. It's all on the grid to make a meetings, to join meetings, to invite for the meeting, like Zoom meetings. I hope next time you can do the community call on the grid. So this system,
Yes.
this calling system, it's inside the grid and it's full work. Also, you can share metaverse experience, whiteboard, everything. We have full feature more than Zoom by itself. And for that, we will have to do. We're doing another event in October. I just want to announce it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
UI looks good.
In 25 of October, we have a big event for 3 days to give education for freelancers to upgrade their skills, and also to give we want to give awareness for threefold in MENA area. It will be good for everyone's. It will be in English and in Arabic also, and we give something like education for generative AIs and Web3. So the event goals, as I'm saying, we want to raise awareness of OurVerse and threefold. Want to support and develop the freelancer skills. Want to enhance the collaboration between freelancers and business owners, and empower startup and support innovations. So that's our things for OurVerse for now, Sam.
Thank
And
you,
you
Omrei.
can for the events. Thank you, everyone.
Well, yeah, thank you, Omrei. Yeah, so we'll share some more. I mean, obviously, there's some issues there with internet connection and things like this, but I think hopefully what you saw, you understood the power of the platform and then the power of the potential on the grid. So thanks to you both for sharing a bit, and we'll keep everyone updated on the event, obviously, as that gets built out, and as there's more updates about the deployment of the metaverse on top of the grid. The next section of the presentation will be focused on operational updates, and this is also a bit more focused on what's been happening on the project 315. So I think this is for Meek.
Yeah. So hi guys. So we'll go quickly over those next slides. So we're implementing a 50% utilization rewards for farmer. We voted for this in the late gap we did this year. So now this means that 50% of the spending on farmers node will be distributed directly to the farmers TF chain account during billing. That I think will incite farmers to put some more nodes, and then I think it's really interesting in how it's unfolding. So maybe a lot of collaboration, I presume, will come out of this. And also we're making sure that, let's say, we have independent grid stacks. So we're setting grid stacks a little bit over the world. So those stacks are running on bare metal using Docker technology, and it enables resiliency and improved user experience. We will have a little bit more on this later. And so we're also making sure we have multiple backend stacks. So this makes sure that we support fallback to alternative stacks when the primary stack fails. So we'll show you some links in the later slide. So also we're working on a big project to make sure that quantum safe file system deployment is easy to deploy for anyone. So we're making sure that users can deploy application using the quantum safe technology on the grid, and that it's understandable. So we'll also have clear documentation on this. This should be done in the, well, I don't want to say too much deadline, but let's say we're making sure it's getting done as quickly as possible. And also something really nice on the Mycelium side. So we're going to unlock a new network potential. So the goal is to be able to handle 10,000 users on the network. And also we're making sure that Mycelium will be available for Linux, macOS, Windows, and also the different smartphones. So that will be a bigger, let's say, accessibility for all kinds of users. So we'll make sure that Mycelium is accessible for anyone. And if you want to know a little bit more about what's coming up for the Grid 3.15 version, you can go on the ThreeFold forum, and then we have a post explaining all the different new features. So also, as always, everything is open source, so you can visit our Git instance, git.ourworld.tf, and then you can see the 3.15 release progress. If you want to participate, feel free to come in and discuss with us if you have ideas. So we're always open. So that's the fun part. So on the operation team, Bert mainly did a lot of work there. So we set 5 full grid backend stacks. So you can see Germany, Belgium, Finland, Singapore, and one in the USA, New York. So you can access them. The links are also available on the manual. So let's say at some point one grid is down, the main dashboard is down, you can go on the other links, and you'll be able to access your workloads. So this adds resiliencies, and we're also setting maybe in the future, the near future, some load balancing features. So everything will happen, let's say, in the back end. So you can just go to the main dashboard grid link, and if it goes down, you'll be redirected maybe to Belgium, Finland. So this will ensure a better user experience. So as we said, we also implemented the new Mycelium nodes. So we set 10 Mycelium nodes: Germany, Belgium, Finland, Singapore, 2 in the USA, so West Coast, East Coast, and 1 in India. So this will make sure that the Mycelium network is more responsive, and that users have a great experience with it. So this is really nice. And for the next couple of slides, I think Scott can chime in.
Yeah, thanks, Meek. So as Sam mentioned earlier, we are doing regular demos. Myself and Meek are alternating about every 2 weeks. So if you want to come for some more excitement like we had today with some live demo, you never know, are things going to work? Are they not going to work? It's a lot of fun. And yeah, so here's one that we did a while ago. This was about ZeroS, Hub, and FLIS. So I was just showing basically the process of how you can work with Docker and upload a Docker image that you've created into the ZeroS Hub, deploy it as a solution on the grid. And you can do this pretty quickly and easily. And this is something that is not, I wouldn't say 100% to working on the grid. There are some other environments where you can work like this, but it is definitely a big step up from needing to work entirely with VM images and manipulate those sort of in traditional ways. So Docker is cool, the FList format is neat, and you can convert between them fairly seamlessly. And so this one was a lot of fun. We've also done some neat things around AI and TF Robot, deploying a lot of VMs, things like that. Sam mentioned those. Here's what's coming up in the future. So next week on Tuesday, we will have a demo of Pulumi. Pulumi is a neat infrastructure as code tool that's sort of a competitor to Terraform that also has some nice features, most notably that you can write your deployments in many different programming languages. So I've been having a lot of fun with Pulumi. It's neat. Personally, I like to write deployments in Python, and being able to just integrate sort of arbitrary code alongside your deployments is sort of a neat difference. And so yeah, we'll be showing that off. We'll be showing that off. Then we'll tentatively have a community Q&A session on September 19th. Those are typically pending how many questions we have. So if you guys have questions, keep an eye out. We'll usually be making a forum post inviting your questions. And if it seems there's enough quantity to warrant a call, then we'll do a call. After that, we'll have another demo on Terraform and also OpenTofu, which is an open source fork of Terraform. And we'll be doing another general project update, so it'll be the same like today, but different on October 3rd. And please subscribe to Threefold Events Calendar if you want to keep all this in your feed. Also, we announce things on the news channel on Telegram, so that's a great place to subscribe for updates if you haven't already, and you'll catch all this stuff and more.
Just curious, is there any background on the name Open Tofu? It just cracks me up.
Well, so what happened with Terraform had a licensing change that inspired one or maybe more open source forks. I think originally they called it OpenTF, TF being for Terraform in this case, not for Threefold. And then they quickly changed it, maybe due to some copyright concerns or something like this. But yeah, it's a play on.
I got it on TF.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have our own tofu product in the Threefold.
Yeah.
One day.
Why not?
And a tofu restaurant with the metaverse now, so it all comes.
There we go.
There you go. Cool. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah,
My pleasure.
So this part I think is really nice because we build up a new website, ThreeFold Docs, the ThreeFold.info. So I think this is an effective introduction to Threefold. So as we all know, well, I hope you know that Threefold, we're doing a lot of stuff. So when you go on the manual, there's a lot of content there. So let's say this manual is, this documentation website is more focused on giving an overview of the ecosystem. So if you can go to the next slide. We have the first section will bring you to the Litepaper. So I think if you're talking about Threefold to someone and they're wondering what it is, what it's all about, and why is it needed, it's a good place to go. The Litepaper is can be read in a couple of minutes, and it presents an overview of the project, where we are now, where we come from, and where we're going. So I think that's a nice addition to the documentation. And also we have on the next slide, the tokenomics. So this is tentative. So this is subject to change, obviously, because we're still working on the Inca tokenomics, but it gives you a good overview of where we're going. And one important aspect is that the Inca token, the distribution is focused on having a great focus on the community. So a lot of the distribution is for the community expansion. And so I think this is amazing personally. So have a look. And if you have any feedback, let us know in the forum or in the Telegram chat, and we can update, of course, the website.
Cool. Thank you, Mick, and thank you for the efforts on that resource. Definitely encourage people to check it out. And it's, I think, especially because it has the Litepaper and the nodes guide, some people won't necessarily, yeah, tokenomics can be a bit complicated for some people, but I mean, there's definitely good intro material in these documents to share with others. And just lastly, I wanted to cover a couple of on-the-ground updates. So last month, as was shared in the news channel, Christoph and Florian were down in Argentina at Aleph, which, not to be confused, I think there's a project out there called Aleph as well, but this is a city, pop-up city, much in the similar light as maybe something like Zuzalu, which was a 1 month long pop-up city in Buenos Aires, and Christoph and Flo were down there speaking. And coming up in just 2 weeks or so, Christoph and Flo will also be in Singapore at Balaji's Network State conference. So that's quite, I think it'll be quite an exciting one for us. We've already identified and understand that Network State projects are definitely a nice target for Threefold. So looking forward to that one, and obviously hearing what happens at that conference. Before I just want to, before we wrap up, because there's some people that maybe weren't here in the beginning, and I just wanted to share about what might be coming up as well. So 315, you can expect some more news on 315 as we progress there. And please, as Mick shared we will share the project board for 315. You're invited to comment there, good feedback, things like this. We're expecting some more action as far as Project Internet Capacity fundraising goes, as the summer is now ended, and as well some announcements coming up in terms of some of our partnerships that we've been alluding to for quite a long time on that side. As well, some news coming up on the Digital Free Zone in Zanzibar, and as Scott and Meek mentioned, there's lots going on in terms of demos and things like this. So should be an exciting end of the year in terms of especially Project Internet Capacity and some of the news coming out there. And looking forward to the updates coming on the tech side as well. We're a bit early, but does anybody have any questions before we jump off? All right. Well, thank you for those who joined, for those who watch on the recording. We'll share the slides as well, and have a great rest of your day and rest of your week, and see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Good to see you.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks,
Thank
Omrei,
you.
for the demo. Mad respect. Live demo.
That was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Next time,
thanks.
better.
Yeah, see you.